Welcome. Well, you're at home with Jim and Joy, and we are delighted that you have welcomed us into your home. You know, you're an important part of our EWTN family, and we would love to hear from you. So today, please send us an email, jimandjoy@ewtn.com. You know, now, every Monday, we like to bring to you one of our favorite interviews from a previous show. And today, we are going to bring to you Chris Slattery. It was a privilege and an honor to interview and have a beautiful show with Chris. Now, Chris is the president of Expectant Mother Care, the oldest and the busiest pro-life centers in New York City. He calls it the abortion capital of the United States. So since 1985, Expectant Mother Care has counseled over 150,000 girls and women, and they have rescued over 43,000 children.
Yeah, it's just incredible. Chris Slattery is definitely one of our heroes there, and for him to have these centers all over the borough there, the boroughs of New York City, is tremendous. There's some 70,000 abortions approximately per year in that New York City area. Lord have mercy. And thinking about 150,000 women, is that what he said, that they've counseled? I was thinking of the story of the woman at the well. We heard that recently here during the season of Lent. And how our Lord met that woman at the well, Samaritan woman. It was Jacob's well where he met Rachel, his wife. And our priest made the point, something I didn't hear before, that it was known as a romantic spot because this is where he found his wife and other couples would come, etc. And that was another reason why it was so bad, it seemed, for Jesus to be speaking to the woman at the well, because it was a romantic spot. But Jesus brought to this woman who had been married 5 times, the man she was with wasn't a husband. Jesus reveals that to her. But Jesus brings true love to the well. And he's saying, you know, you keep drinking the same water in terms of your relationships, your sexuality. He didn't put it that way. He said, but it never quenches you. I have water that will quench your thirst. That's what emergency mother care is doing. That's what Chris Slattery is doing in counseling 150,000 women who are in crisis pregnancy, many of whom have been abandoned when they're with child. And they're bringing them the true faith, true love. What is love? They're meeting with them, not wanting to use these women in any way, but just be a community of faith and love that they might carry the child to term, or if they come and they aborted their child, that they might get post-abortion healing. It's one of the most tremendous works throughout the country and throughout the world being done by Chris Slattery.
And one of the things that Chris shared with us is that he's in a high-rise building, and on one floor is a Planned Parenthood, which Planned Parenthood is the #1 abortion provider in the world, and then they have their pregnancy medical center. So in that building, so much, I can only imagine what the spiritual warfare must be like in that building. So Chris is doing an unbelievable job. It's a rough place where it's going down, and he is loving large in New York.
The light is shining in the darkness. Many people are being reached for Christ, babies being born, souls being saved. We know you'll be impacted. Please enjoy the show.
Welcome back. Well, you're at home with Jim and Joy, and you're an important part of the EWTN family, and we want to hear from you. So email us during this show, jimandjoy@ewtn.com. Well, here we have with us Mr. Chris Slattery, and he is the president of Expectant Mother Care. If you want to go to his website, you go to emcfrontline.org or prolifeinterns.com. Now, Chris, we want to welcome you to At Home with Jim and Joy.
My privilege to be here. Thank
you so much. It is our privilege to have you. And I want you to tell our family at home. We know how we got involved in this movement, and There was no turning back, right? And so why don't you tell our family at home, how did God draw you in? What captured your heart to say yes to this with no turning back and keeping your eyes on the prize, cost what it might, and it's cost you. So tell us.
Well, first of all, I had to come back to my faith to understand the importance of the cause of life. I had basically gone to Boston College and did not live my faith at a Catholic school in the early 70s. It was drug, sex, and rock and roll in those days for college students. It was wild. I got right into advertising in Manhattan, wild and crazy, intense work life. And then God brought me back to meet some serious Catholics. And I had a conversion on a retreat in 1978. And by 1979, I was at my first pro-life demonstration, the March for Life, 1980. And by 84, I knew I was called to a special task to found Expectant Mother Care. I discovered New York City was the abortion capital of America. We were looking at 110,000 abortions in those years. Stunning thing.
Like per year?
Per year, 110,000 a year in one city. And I just gave myself, all my spare time was to this apostolate. I said, God, you got no time for dating. You're going to have to send me the right woman. And then a year in, a volunteer came along who I took out for coffee and proposed to Eileen 3 months later. We have 4 grown children now. And she's been my rock to do this work. She's earned a good income as a school teacher. She's given us the financial stability for me to do this work full time for the last 26 years. And over these years, 150,000 women counseled, 43,000 rescued from a certain abortion, all starting with one woman back in the early 80s.
Yeah, I just want to move slow and say again, 150,000 women counseled. I mean, and they come in all variety of situations, so many just kind of in despair. And you're saying some 43,000 that you know of, abortion, vulnerable women that have come in and chose life through Expectant Mother Care.
Now, we don't rest on our laurels. We know that all of the success has come through God's grace in the hearts of the mothers, the prayers and sacrifices of thousands who have prayed for, sacrificed for these mothers, the mothers themselves developing great courage when they're given hope, when they're given real help. But we focus on the abortion-minded women. And I know with your pregnancy center here in Birmingham, you do the same. These are the vulnerable women. We still have 1 million+ women choosing abortion annually in our country, and 50 million worldwide. It's a crisis. It's a cause that we need to all pitch in on in some way.
Yeah. I want to go back just for a moment in terms of your own conversion, because you said all this begins with conversion and really coming to own the faith that you were baptized into and born into. And you said some people had really influenced your life. Were these people, serious Catholic people as you've called them, did they have the pro-life movement as very much a part of their expression of faith? Or did that come in some other way? Were you being touched by people in the movement?
No.
Or was it just coming to the faith and then understanding?
No, initially, I kind of discovered the pro-life movement peripherally. There really was a dearth of pro-life activism in New York City.
What years are you speaking
I'm
about?
talking about in the late 70s, early 80s. Our movement had been crushed politically. We were one of the first states to legalize abortion. We were looking at, in 70, 71, to 250,000 abortions a year. The movement had no political support. I just was not attracted to the politics of the movement. I started sidewalk counseling. And I once was on my way to work with a 3-piece suit on my way to an ad agency, and a woman called me over to this abortion clinic. I thought they were crazy. You know, what are they doing over there? You know. But at 7:30 in the morning, I got lured into sidewalk counseling in front of a plaza of a 50-story office building where there was a big abortion
When
mill.
you say sidewalk counseling, what do you mean?
I'm talking about people would reach out to the clients of abortion clinics on their way in, on the sidewalks, and in New York City, that's what they were, sidewalks and plazas.
Like the last voices they're hearing before they go in. Last appeal.
And so I got called into it that way.
Wow.
I turned around, a mother bringing in her 15-year-old daughter, a black girl, short, 15-year-old, pregnant, talked with them, had no training, nothing. They kept the baby. I held that little baby girl of a 15-year-old in my arms in an all-black section, Crown Heights, Brooklyn, like 6 months later. And I was converted, man. This is, you can rescue a child? You can actually change someone's mind? A light went off. Wow, 110,000 abortions a year? Man, I better do something.
Yeah.
What can I do? Then I discovered there was such a thing as a crisis pregnancy center. And I learned from others. I invited people to come and teach us how to do this.
But you know, you speak about when you experience something like that, like you said, and it was, you were kind of, I don't say reluctant, but it was like a Simon the Cyrene thing, like you got pulled right into it. What a privilege that is. But it brings this whole political debate and discussion, if you can call it that, and arguments which we need to have. But when you're looking at somebody going into an abortion mill, it's like surreal. It's like, you can't believe it, but yet you know there's 1 million abortions per year or whatever it is throughout the country. It's happening. But then all of a sudden you see a person, a real person, who's in a crisis themselves thinking that this is the solution. She has a real baby inside of her. And this just can't be happening. This is not happening. And then you have the privilege of turning someone around and holding the result of that. And you're never the same.
Now, we engage in both the office counseling, inviting people in through advertising, and appointment making to our pregnancy centers throughout the city. But we also send out teams of young people to the big abortion clinics like Planned Parenthood's, the largest chain of abortion centers in the world. They abort over 300,000 children a year.
It's amazing how many people don't know that still.
Yeah,
I don't know how that is.
They think it's a good place to go for
the
women to get health
abortion
care.
chain
Yeah,
in the world.
they're the McDonald's of the abortion industry. So we're out there in front of their places every day. Just this morning, we had 10 people outside of Planned Parenthood and other abortion facilities in New York, and they're engaging. They're getting catcalls, they're getting insults from passerbys, but they're focusing on the heart, the mind, and praying intensely for conversions. And they can happen.
Right.
And for instance, the mother might pray the night before going in, God, please send me somebody to talk me out of this. That happens at least a few times a week.
Right.
Wow, you're the answer to my prayer.
Right. You're the sign I was calling out to God for. You know, we had a client, and she had said to me, she had an abortion 10 years ago, and she said when she was driving to the abortion clinic, 10 times she turned around.
Wow.
10 times. I mean, so think of the struggle that she was going through. Well, she finally made it to the abortion clinic, and she did have that abortion. But when we were able to sit with her, now she was in another pregnancy later on, and we were really able to talk to her about that experience because she had never talked about that experience before. So clients come back to us, right? They're post-abortive, yet they're pregnant again and they're abortion-minded. So there's a lot of a human being that needs to be loved and who needs to have her heart heard. And that's what pregnancy medical centers do. We're there to love. We're there to listen. We're there to throw her a lifeline and to tell her the truth in love. And to give free ultrasounds and free pregnancy tests and free counseling, right?
We have a interfaith, multiracial staff of 5 full-time women.
Right.
Black young lady named Chantel, an Indian American woman named Dahlia, 2 Hispanic women, one is Yasmin and the other is Carolina, and then 1 token white lady named Kathy, Irish American. And these ladies are supplemented by literally dozens of other part-time or full-time volunteers that come temporarily, usually. We house them in the Bronx. We're keeping it young. The interns that work with the mothers throughout the city are average age of about 20, so we keep it young. We keep it ethnically diverse. We'll have a French girl like Malis who's counseling a woman from Haiti in French. We have, the Spaniards who come over for the summer and they're talking to South Americans or Central Americans or Mexicans. God is bringing people from all different countries to meet the most international city of America, New York, where the battle rages.
Now, you also mentioned that you're in one building that you are in New York, also is an abortion clinic in the exact same building.
Yes, as a matter of fact, we're in downtown Brooklyn Borough Hall area. We're in the same building since 1999 with two giant abortion clinics, one of them Planned Parenthood. There are probably more women aborted in that building than the entire state of, or was it 9,000 abortions in Birmingham?
In the state of Alabama.
Then the whole state performed in the building in which we work, in Brooklyn. We're 3 seconds away from the killing centers by elevator. It's staggering.
So what floor are you on?
We're on 9, and the abortion clinics are on 3 and 6.
Wow. The abortion clinics?
Yes. Are literally in the same elevator shaft with us. I mean, they're literally, some of them have the Planned Parenthood has the whole floor, the whole 6th floor, a mega clinic. And they have one in each of the 5 boroughs of New York City now. Now, remember, this is 2016, and 100 years ago, this October, Margaret Sanger founded Planned Parenthood in New York City, opening the first birth control information clinic in Brooklyn, again, 100 years ago this October. So from there, a monster was unleashed.
Yeah. Now, I'm just trying to figure out the logistics of that. For a sidewalk counselor, do you get to stand on front of your sidewalk? You pay rent in that building. So are you allowed to go to their floor? How does that work itself out?
We like to not rile up the landlord too much. There are, example, how many abortion facilities are there in New York? Well, in 1 year, I've done a lot of different adventurous escapades. 1 year, we did a 5-day hike and bike vigil to every known abortion killing center in New York City. We prayed at 83 different sites. We don't have to go to our own building. 83 different places we prayed at where babies were being killed in New York City.
As we were sharing in the back, the green room, you said every country has abortion. And I thought to myself, well, no, that's not right, because I know some countries where it's illegal, but you said they either have legal or illegal abortion. Every country has abortion. And that was, so even if you pass a law, you have it, and you should have laws that make it illegal, you're going to have abortion. I remember growing up as a kid, somebody pointing to a place, this is before Roe v. Wade, 73, and everybody kind of knew that doctor's office over there, they do, and somebody said that. And I was, pretty young still then, in whatever year that was, 16, and I said, well, like abortion, you mean like this is a place and we know about that? So it was there, even beforehand. So there's always
so many third world countries, abortion is illegal, but the law enforcement is very lax, and there's so much more that can be done. We have a program where we bring people in from all over the world to train them in how to run pregnancy centers. We have our own house just to house young people, and we've had them from about 35 countries.
How many do you take a year?
We can take as many as 40 young people a year to live with us full-time for at least 8 weeks. That's where we have this website, prolifeinterns.com, where they can apply. They come in as tourists.
Prolifeinterns.com. So I'm not sure you have that one up.
Prolifeinterns.com. And that is a site where young people can apply to work with us on the front lines. The greatest training ground in the world is the abortion capital of the Western world. There are more babies taken by abortion than any city in Western Europe or all of the Americas, in New York. So we need the help, but it also provides a great place to learn how to rescue children and help mothers.
Well, you know, Chris, before we went to break, you shared, you know, there were 83 abortion clinics. You know,
And hospitals. And hospitals.
Right. And here in Alabama, that we know of, there's 5, and you're thinking
Throughout the state.
Yeah,
We had
throughout
like 25
the
or
state.
30,
You know, but
so,
it's and it's still, 1 is too many, because they're doing god awful work, and so when you think of 83 and just the numbers that you're putting out, it's like we have to get on the front lines. We have to respond. We have to get out and do something. Why don't you tell us about some of the cases that you're seeing?
You said you've counseled like 150,000
Yeah, that's
women.
true.
So you might
now,
have,
you know, in recent years, of course, I am not as much involved in the counseling as I was when I was younger. I want the young people to do most of it now. But I remember the Khans. They were South Africa. They were from South Africa, but they were Muslims, and they were discriminated because their skin color was not the black skin color of the blacks of South Africa.
Yeah. Wow.
They had to leave because they couldn't survive the discrimination they were feeling in South Africa. So they illegally immigrated to New York. And they were a gorgeous married couple with 2 children. And the 2 of them, they were just so desperate for money, they wanted to take their 3rd child's life. So I said to Mr. Khan, what do you need, Mr. Khan, to survive and to have this child? Well, I need work. What do you do? He said, I do body work. What do you mean body work? Yeah. You're a bodybuilder? No, I fix cars. Yeah. I said, well, okay, here's a list of auto body shops. Go get a job. He says, I need tools. I can't get a job without a tool, without tools. So we bought him $1,500 worth of body shop tools, gave him a list of places, bought him a bike. He went shopping for a shop, found a job. Baby daughter was born, gorgeous baby girl. And you know what? I didn't try to convert them to Catholicism. I didn't give them a talk about Jesus Christ. I just thought that in this case, look, I am Jesus Christ. And whatever, that girl is destined for great things. Sometimes you do God's work without words. You know, you just do what you have to do for a couple.
Right.
And it's not all about aggressive proselytism and preaching.
Right.
It's about being Jesus Christ for these people.
Chris, we're going to have to hold it at that point. And thank you so much for your years of faithfulness, of sharing the gospel of life, of training others, generations to come after we're gone, to stand for the gospel of life. It's emcfrontline.org, emcfrontline.org. Go there, get more information, support this great work. And remember that life, marriage, and the family will prevail. We'll be right back.
Well, we certainly know that you were inspired just from hearing what Chris Slattery had to share and the expectant mother care. So please join us next time, where you are always at home with Jim and Joy, and you are an important part of our EWTN family.